Hello, my name is Hurston Fales, co-founder and chief product officer at Storytailor. In this video, I'll be covering how to edit your story. Before we hop in, you should note that in order to edit a story, you need the Storyteller account, which is a $14.99 per month plan on Storytailor. And with that, let's hop right in. All right, now before we actually select the story that we're going to edit, there's a couple other notes that I want to make. Aside from the fact that you need the Storyteller account, it's also important to note that with the Storyteller account, you also have the ability to create audio. That lifelike audio gets read back to you once it's done being generated. But it's important to note that if you're going to do the lifelike audio, you will want to do it after you edit your story, because the audio is based on the current iteration of your story. So I'll repeat that one more time. If you're going to do the lifelike audio, you'll want to wait until after you edit the text of your story to do that. So we're going to go ahead and select a story that we've already made. We're going to hop into the Max story that we created a couple of videos back, Max and the Milky Way Adventure. Now, let's say that in this story, I decided that I wanted to change a couple of things in the text. It's actually a relatively simple idea. Again, I'm in my Storyteller account. I can click on the little pencil that says edit. And right now, nearly all of the things that are featured in the story are editable. Of course, you can't edit the cancel button, but I can actually go in and change the name from Max, which I won't do because I want to leave the main story character's name intact. But let's say that down here, I decided where it says where the stars twinkled. Maybe I wanted to say shined, like glitter confetti, right? A relatively small edit, but one that I think is impactful because maybe I like the way that it sounds better. Well, you'll notice that the text turns blue when it's editable. So even if I go up here to my the subject line or my subject paragraph, I can click on that. It'll edit and turn blue as well. The headline itself or the title of the story will also turn blue. Anytime it turns blue, it means that I'm able to actually edit the content in that section. It should also be noted that you can edit the content inside of your interactive activities as well as your reading activities. So you can actually go in here and manipulate and edit the activities themselves and save those out too. Very rarely will you need to edit the activities, but I thought that was a cool feature that you all should know about. Now let's say that all I wanted to do was change that word shine and we're good to go. I now click the Save Changes button, and now my story has been updated. After this, if I decide that I want to create the lifelike audio or create audio, I can click the Create Audio button, and it'll generate it from my change. Again, I want to stress how important it is to make your edits to your story before you actually click on your Create Audio button. This is all because the Create Audio and the audio that gets generated comes from the content in the story as it stands. If you go and change the content after you've created the audio, you will have the audio from the previous content. And that's just an important thing to note because we want to make sure that we set the proper expectations and that you get the most out of your Storytailor experience. And with that, that's editing a story in Storytailor. And that concludes editing your story in Storytailor. Again, it's important that you know that you need to have a Storyteller account to do this specific task because that feature, as well as regenerating the art, is inside of the Storyteller account and not the starter account. If you have that all set up, then you're good to go. In videos that follow, we'll actually take a look at what it takes to regenerate art. We'll also talk about adding in some vocabulary words. That's a really interesting feature that can really empower a lot of parents as well as educators in the process of building fantastic stories in Storytailor.